Let me make the members. All right, so this is done. Next, what do I have? I need to assign the supports. I have 3 hinge supports. So let me assign the right click, pin support, right click, pin support, sorry, pin support, and here another pin support. So this is done. And as you can see here in the problem, we have the supports inclined, means we have vertical. We can also change this in the LinPro, as I told you in the last class. We have to go over here, coordinates of joints and supports, rotation at the node 0, delete this and minus 90, and this is how you can rotate the supports. And similarly here, minus 90. That's it. This is how you do it. So what else is left? Now we need to assign the loads 50 kilonewton and 80 kilonewton. So directly go to this node, right click, add load. So now I can assign both the loads at in one load case itself. I need X direction, how much? Let me see, 50 and 80. So X is minus 50 and Y is minus 80. Apply load. So this is done. All right. So now our truss, we need to make this into a truss. So as I told you, we need to go to this over here, members, select all the members and end release with joint I, joint J. Okay. Okay. Now next, we need to remove these red dots. How you can do? By unchecking one of the moment release of each member. So uncheck the moment at joint 2. Take this right click. You can choose either joint 3 or 1. It's up to you. Let me use joint 3. Then joint 1. Last bits this one. Joint 0. So now I know my structure is stable. Alright. So as you can see, the moment is 0, shear force is 0. We just have axial force. That means this is taken as a truss now. So this we have learned so far in the last class. Now how do we develop the stiffness matrix for each element by element and then combine it into a global stiffness matrix. So here you can see here a blue button. Alright, so this blue arrow button, you need to click on this. So you come into this window. This is called the study mode. Alright, so what are the elements of this? You have the first thing is degree of freedom array. Means what is the degree of freedoms assigned by the LinPro to each node. We have seen this. Next we have here element 0. What all elements do we have in the structure? This will be shown over here. Element 0, element 1, element 2, and so on and so forth. So this is second part. What is the third part? This is called the pre-processing. Means we will be processing element by element and developing a local stiffness matrix over here. And then once we have finished the step 1, 2, 3, 4, after the step addition means this local stiffness matrix will be added to the global stiffness matrix in the below. You can see over here. So this, when you highlight this element 0, you will get this local stiffness matrix here when you click on the step 1. Alright, so you have to just press step 2, 3 and 4, and in the global stiffness matrix you can see the highlighted are the blue arrows over the blue area. You can see these are the blue highlighted. That means the element 0 local stiffness matrix assembles in the global stiffness matrix at these positions, at the highlighted positions. Alright, so this is how you do element by element. So you have to click element 0, step 1, 2, 3, 4, addition will come over here. Next, go to element 1, step 1, 2, 3, 4, element 2, so on and so forth. Then here we have global force vector, global displacement vector. Alright, so once the global stiffness matrix is ready by doing all the steps, then we need to assign the nodal force vector. It will automatically take the nodal forces whatever you have assigned on the structure. As you have assigned 150 and 180 kilonewton, you have to just add nodal forces and it will take over here. Next we have the global displacement vector, means that we will be finding out. We'll get the results over here after you do the solve system of equations. So now what, as you can see over here, we have blue is free degree of freedom and red is constrained degree of freedom. In the textbook we have the known degree of freedom and unknown degree of freedom. Alright, so known degree of freedom is nothing but the constraint and the unknown is nothing but the free degree of freedom. So this is the notation. And the most important thing here in the LinPro, the notation starts from 0. not from 1. So we have element 0, element 1, element 2. So we, even though in case of degree of freedom, we have degree of freedom 0, 1, 2, 3, and same will be the order of this. So global displacement vector, we have how many? 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, we have 12 degree of freedoms for this. So that means this, it starts with degree of freedom 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth. All right. So now if you click on this edit degree of freedom array, you will get the degree of freedom assumed by this LinPro. As you can see over here, for the free degree of freedoms, it has taken the range 0 to 5, and for the fixed degree of freedom 6 to 11. That means for the known degree of freedoms, it should always be between 6 to 11, and for free degree of freedom 0 to 5. You don't need to change anything over here, but you should always remember what are the requirements. What is the question? He's asking us determine the deflections of the loaded joint. Means I need to find the deflection in this point. What is in x and in y. So I know what is the degree of freedom assigned here? 3 and 4. So that result I need to see at the end. Means what is the displacement in the degree of freedom 3 and 4. All right. As you can see over here, the blue is the 0 degree of freedom, 1, 2, then 3, 4, and 5. So these are all the unknown degree of freedoms. Red is nothing but the known degree of freedoms, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is how you find out what are the degree of freedoms assigned to the elements by the LinPro. Alright. So this should be kept in mind. Your problem is you need to find out the deflections of the loaded joint. Means I need to find out this deflection. So now how do we start getting the local stiffness matrix? So now first thing is you select element 0, means you have to see which is highlighted. Now we have selected element 0. As you can see over here, I have joint I is equals to joint J. What is joint I? Node number is 2, joint J node number is 3. The degree of freedom assigned is 10, 11, 2. And the degree of freedom assigned is 3, 4, 5. If you have any doubt which direction is what, go to the array and just see over here. For element 0, we have like this. So always it is 10, 11, and 2. Always it is a horizontal first, vertical next, and then the rotation. That is the arrangement of the degree of freedom. Since we rotated the supports clockwise, that's why this 10 is coming first, 11 second, and rotation is 2. At the node 3, you see we have 3, 4, 5. So 3 is horizontal, 4 is vertical, and rotation is 5. So this is very important to know the arrangement or the sequence of the degree of freedom, because in the same sequence we will be having the local stiffness matrix, rows and columns. All right. So now since this is 3 degree of freedoms on each node, so our local stiffness matrix will be 6 by 6. All right. So but in this we don't need the rotations. All right, we don't need the rotation at 2. We need remove the unwanted degree of freedoms from the matrix so as to reduce it. So what do we do here? The step 1, click on the step 1. You have this matrix given over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rows by 6 columns. All right. Next, what you do is step 2, static condensation. All right. So what will happen is, as you can see, this has become 0. They have eliminated the last row and the last column. That is called reducing the matrix to as per requirement. Next, step 3, transform. Now this is automatically transforming this local stiffness matrix to global coordinate system. And the next step 4 is, as you can see in this area below, this will change. Addition. Now the local stiffness matrix, they have been added over here in this part. All right. So this has been done. Now second part is element 1. Click on step 1. You have local stiffness matrix, static condensation. This one and addition. I'll repeat the same steps for this one, element 2, stiffness matrix, step 2, 3, and 4. So now yours, what do you say? Stiffness matrix is ready. Your global stiffness matrix you have performed for each element. This is ready. Next comes is global force vector. Means you need to add what are the forces, external forces acting on the structure. You just click on add nodal forces. As you can see, we have minus 50, minus 80. and what is the direction of minus 50 minus 80? You see here, the degree of freedom is at this joint is 3 and 4. We put 50 in left direction and 80 in down direction. So in the degree of freedom 3, I will have minus 50, and degree of freedom 4, I have minus 80. That's why it starts from this is 0, degree of freedom 0, degree of freedom 1, degree of freedom 2, degree of freedom 3, and 4. So 5, 6, 7. So you have to see that automatically the loads have been assigned to the respective degree of freedoms. So now the global stiffness matrix is ready, global force vector is ready, the global displacement vector, this is the result. All right, form fixed displacement vector. Click on this, and next you need to go here, green button, the solve system of equations. All right, once you click this, that's it, you got the global displacement vector. Means at each degree of freedom, what are the displacements? Blue is the unknown degree of freedoms, and red is the known degree of freedom. Of course, it is 0. So now what is the unknown degree of freedoms? We have rotation at this node, then rotation at this, then 3, 4, 5, and 2. So what are we requiring? We require the displacement in this direction 3 and 4. So I need to see in that 3 and 4. What is the 3? 0, 1, 2, 3. 0.000125. So let us see the displacement over here in this solved problem. So he has divided by AE. So that is what, how you see the values over here. If you divide by AE in the, this value, this is value given by using the value of AE given in the LinPro. Okay. So next, how do we compare the, so this is how you get the displacements of the problem. Next, coming down to post processing, as you see, in this we can find out the displacement of each element and the associated forces along the each element. What is required along each this one? He's asking us determine the end forces of each member and reaction at supports. So now again go to element 0, get displacements. This is the displacement of the element 0 in this one. Degree of freedom 10, degree of freedom 11, degree of freedom 12, 2, degree of freedom 3, 4, and 5. Then transform, extract condensed displacement, and calculate the force along element. So as you can see, the moments is 0, the shear is 0, and we have the axial force 17.7. So I know the force along element 0 is 17.7 kilonewton. So let us see what is element 0 in our case. This is the element 0. In our textbook, what is element? Let us see. This is the element 2. So for element 2, the force in member should be, let us see, 17.7. As you can see, for element 2, force in member is 17.7, and this is what we got here, 17.7. Clear? Next we have element 1. Get displacements, and this is another case is element 1. What is element 1 in our case? This inclined member again. That is nothing but 17.7. This is a 3, as you can see here. Alright, and you can find out the displacement in x, y, and these other rotations of each one. Similarly, find out for element 2, get displacements, and you find out the 97.91. You got 97.91 for force in the member 1. So this is how you got the force in all the members. Alright, next, what he asked us to find out the reactions at the supports. Okay, so this is how you find out this one. Close. You can also see here the reactions. So 14.17. You can see 14.17, 10.62. Then next we have here 78.32, 58.74, so on and so forth. In this you can see the diagram. Blue is a compression, red is a tension. All right, this is axial force diagram, and these are deflections. Also you can see from here. Just right click on this button. You can see in the x direction 0.00125. The y direction displacement is 0.0241. All right. So this is how you find out the element stiffness matrix and global stiffness matrix by using the LinPro. Okay, so let me show you another. So far, is it good, everyone? Is it clear? Am I understood or anything? doubts? Please respond. Is it okay or it was clear, unclear? All right. So let us see another problem. I have here a truss. So let me just clear this. I think I already have this. I have a truss given over here. So let me just draw this truss over here. I have 3, 4 at an angle distance. So make a joint. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, it should be over here. 1, 2, 3. Assign an angle of 45 degrees clockwise, so 45 degrees to node 1, 45 degrees. And next I have a load of 30 kilonewton at this point in x direction, positive. Add load 30 kilonewton, apply load. Okay, so now this is done. Our truss is ready. So next I need to remember release moments. Let me just do it by this. All right, so now this acts as a truss element. So you can just see there is movement and shear, just we have axial forces. So now what's the next thing? We need to go to the blue button over here. Next, we have to see the degree of freedom assigned to each of the nodes. Okay, and what is the problem asking? To determine the end forces of each member and reactions at the supports and determine the displacement of the loaded joint. Means I need to find out the displacement at this joint. So let us see. Again, go to element 0, step 1, step 2, 3, 4. Similarly, go for step element 1. As you can see over here, let me show you. These values are very too big, right? Let me put the value of AE as 1. Then you will be able to understand clearly. Now you see the difference in the what is the element 1 over here. So for element 3 you see here what is our okay. So this is how you do. Next is stiffness matrix. For element 2. Next, for add nodal forces, form force displacement and solve system of equations. So now you have found out the displacements in 0, 1, 2, 3. So let us see the results. Displacement 352.5 at 1, D1, D2, D3. What is D1, D2, D3 over here? 1 at horizontal at this node, vertical at this, and horizontal at this, inclined support 3. So D1, D2, 352.5 displacements. So I think we should not change the values of that. Let me do it. One second. One second. I need to do this because I changed the values of that AE. It was getting that values. So let me just define it again. No, one second. Let me do it again for you. Next I have this one. I think I already have done this LinPro example 1. What is this example? Example 5. Alright, so this is already done over here. I already made this. So now let us put over here, as I told you, this one, stiffness matrix 0.25 for horizontal element 0. This element 0, alright. So what is the stiffness matrix in this case? What is the notation given here? This is element 1. So let us see the element 1 local stiffness matrix. So we have 0.25, 0, 0.1768. So we have 0.25, 0, 0.1768. Okay. 0.1768, 0.125. So what is this here? What do we have here is, see, in our case, for element 1, they have taken 4 degree of freedoms. They have, in this problem, they have avoided the rotations at the supports. But in the LinPro, they have taken the rotations 0 and 2. So what do we need to do is, we need to remove the degree of freedoms column 0 and 2 from this matrix. As you can see here, as I told you, the order of this local stiffness matrix is nothing but 6701A2. So this is 6, this is 7, this is 0, and next is 1, 8, and 2. Similarly, we have the same order for the rows. So we just need 6 and 7 and 1 and 8 and remove the third row and the last row. So what I do is, I remove this third column and the third row. Remove the last column and the last row. So whatever I'll be leaving with, I will get this value, 4 by 4 matrix. So from the 6 by 6 matrix, you are removing the last row, last column, third row, third column, and you'll be getting a 4 by 4 matrix, which is equivalent to this one exactly. You see all your values are available here in this matrix, 0.25, 0.1768, 0.1768. All right. So why do you remove the third row and the last row? Because in the LinPro, he has taken. Yes. Is someone's asking? All right. So in the LinPro, he has assigned the degree of freedom. I cannot. Who's talking? I cannot hear you clearly. Who's talking? Please, I cannot hear you clearly. I think it's just Dr. Suleiman. Okay. So, where were we? So this is how you remove this. We just need 6 and 7, 1 and 8. Whose mic is on? Okay. Ayman, are you hearing this clearly? Yeah. Sir, can you hear me? Okay, now it's okay. So, I was telling that you have this local stiffness matrix of element 1 over here, shown over here. This is 4 by 4 matrix, and we have here 6 by 6. So how do you reduce that, or you get the value? Remove the third row, third column, 6 row, 6 column. Why? Because I don't need this unknown degree of freedom, 0 and 2. So next step for addition, again go over here. Addition.
Mr. Mas,
yeah.
Can we remove the moment from the LinPro?
So no. This is no. You cannot remove it. It's by default 3 degree of freedom at each node. We cannot remove. because you cannot remove this. You can just reassign the numbers, but still it is better to keep it as it is, because there is a condition that the possible range of free degree of freedom is 0 to 5 and for fixed is 6 to 8. So that's why it is better to keep as it is. You cannot remove the degree of freedom from LearnPro. So what you need to do is you need to just remove the particular row and column and extract the local stiffness matrix if you need. Next, both this you have already done. Next, this is the one. So now add nodal forces. Next, solve system of equations. As you can see here, what is the displacements we have here? 352, 157, 127. As you can see here, 352, 157, 67. All right. So this is how. What's the degree of freedom we need? 3, 4, and next is what? D1, D2. What is 1 and 2? D1, D2, and D3 is horizontal of that. And so we need the value 1, 3, and 4. So let us see the value 1, 3, and 4. This is 0. This is 1. This is 1 minus 127. Minus 127. Next I have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 352 and 127. So this is how you get the values of the global displacements. Okay. Next, what is it asking? It's asking the force in the each member. Member 1, 2, and 3. So let us see the member 1. One by one we will go. Get displacement. Get the force. Force along member is minus 22.5 kilonewton. This is what we got the value over here. Minus 22.5 for the member 1. Member 2. This is tension because it is positive. 37.5. Tension 37.5. Next for element 3. Like this. We have another compression minus 22.5. This minus 22.5 compression. This is how you get the member forces. And as I already told you that we can get the from this diagram also, just click on right click, you will get the displacement in X and in the Y. And if you click on this node, right click, you get the displacement in X minus 127. And if you click on the reaction, you get the reaction of the supports 31.82. You see 31.82, 22.5, 7.5. So this is how you get the reactions, force in members, and the global stiffness matrix of any problem. So this is how you do. Any doubt so far? I'm already recording this session, so you'll be able to see again. So next problem we have is, suppose if you have a settlement over here, even get a textbook problem which you have taken. So I have already drawn this 14.5. So I have done this modeling. So I have assigned a display. What do we have here? Determine the force in the member 2. This force in member 2 of the assembly. If the support at the joint 1 settles 25 mm, the value of A is 8,000 kilonewton. All right. So now he is asking us to find out the force in that. So first you do is you do the modeling of this and assign a settlement of 0.025. Okay. Next side, as I told you, go to the blue button. Then check your degree of freedom array. What is assigned? What is the notations given? 0, 1, 2, and 3 accordingly. Close. Then you have to go step by step. Element 0, step 1 stiffness matrix, static condensation. So these big values are why? Because of the AE value given adopted by the system. As you can see here, value of A is taken as 4 into 10 power minus 5 meters square, and E is this one. But here he asked us A is 8,000 kilonewton. So by keeping the value E as 200 GPa, you can get the value of A and substitute that in this value. You will get the approximately same. So next, so let's go again. Step stiffness matrix, addition, element 2, addition, add nodal forces, then solve system of equations. So now what is he asking us? He's asking us to find out what the force. The displacement is 0.0056. As you can see, 0.000556 and 0.021875. 0.021875. So this is nothing but degree of freedom 0, 1, 2, 3. So this degree of freedom 2 and 3. 2 is horizontal, 3 is vertical. This is what he's asking us. We got the displacements, global displacement. Next, he's asking us the force in the member, inclined member. Get the force in the inclined member. We have a compression 13.89. 3 minus 13.9 is a force in the member to 13.9. Okay, you can find out similarly the force in all the members. We have a tension of 8.3 kilonewtons, and in this we have another tension of 11 kilonewtons in this member. So this is how you get the values of anything. These are from here you can get the reactions of the supports. From this you can see this is compression and blue is the tension. As you can see here, minus value means tension, and this plus is compression. So this I just took an example of this one, and let me just show you one thing. Let us go back to this and put a value of AE as 1, A1, I1 change, and now let's see what changes it does to the stiffness matrix. No, it's still the same. I'll show you one more thing. Let's put this E value as 1 so that AE is equals to 1, and now let's see what is the value we get here. You can see here we got 0.33, 0.44, 0.667. That's because I put the value of AE is equals to 1 so that you can get the stiffness matrix similar to the one in the textbook. Alright, instead of the big values. So what do we have here for element 1? Vertical we have 4. So what in here we have a vertical element 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 1. So what do I don't need? I don't need 4. I don't need 1. So I don't need 4 and 1. So that means I don't need the last row, the last column, the third row and the last column. So I will eliminate this third and the last. Similarly, I'll eliminate the third, this one, third row and the last column. So I'll be remaining with 4 by 4. That is equivalent to the 0.30 minus 0.30. 0.30 minus 0.30. So this is how you get the value. The notation is different, but this is how you extract, as I told you, step by step. Static condensation, addition, and again you see if you put the value of E as 1, A as 1 and I as 1, so this will show you more realistic values compared to those thousands of big numbers. Addition, add nodal forces, form force displacement vector and solve system of equation, you get the same values 5, 5, 6. The values will not change, only your matrix will look much resemblance to the textbook, because here the textbook AE value is taken as outside of the bracket, but the LinPro takes it inside. So that's why what I have done is I have put the value of AE is equals to 1 in LinPro so that you can get this matrix same. That is what I have done just now. So the next problem which I'll be discussing is this one, 14-8. I have a truss given over here. I have already done this truss. Alright, so what is the truss given here? Determine the vertical displacement at joint 2. What is joint 2? Joint 2 is, one second, 2, 4, 1, 2. This joint. Or the joint 2 and the force in the member 5. The force in the member 5. So I have already drawn this truss at the hinge supports over here and this one. So let us go to the stiffness matrix area. Check this degree of freedom assigned by the LinPro. It was overall 13 degree of freedoms, 14 degree of freedoms, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 to the 14. At least each member will have 2 degree of freedom like that. So let us go element by element. Element 0. So you see the stiffness matrix is too big because it is 14 by 14. But you know that the red is the known degree of freedoms and the blue is unknown degree of freedom. So this is irrelevant at the end. So let us go element 0, step 1 stiffness matrix, static condensation, transformation to global coordinates and addition. Next go for the element 1 similarly. Element 2, you see the values are big. Why? Because we put the value of AE as it is. The LinPro takes the value of AE into the matrix and does not take it outside. Addition, stiffness matrix, element 6, and add nodal forces. We just have 30. Then 30 kilonewton at one node. Then solve system of equations. That's it. So now what is the requirement? Is asking us the displacements. He found out the displacement at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? D1, D2, D3, D4. So let us see what is the degree of freedom in our case. We have 4, 5, 8 and 9. So 4 will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 will be 0 0.004, 0 0.004. Then next I have 0 0.02 331, 2331. Next I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 966, 483. So 966, 483. This one. So this is how you get, just compare the degree of freedom assigned by the textbook and by the LinPro, and you will get the values accordingly. Next is asking the force in the member 5, means in this member inclined 5. So let us go directly to that member, get the force. It's minus 42.42. What did they get? Minus 42.42. Alright, compression. This is how you get the, by LinPro, the force in any of the members, the corresponding displacements, the global displacements from here. As I told you, you can check over here. The reactions can be seen from here, 60 and 30. The deflections, as I told you, can see from here. Just right click on this dot, you'll get the displacement 1004.2331. Similarly, right click on this node, you'll get the displacement, corresponding displacement at each node. And you can get the overall force diagram. This is a tension and this is a compression. 60 and each member. You can find out like this. There's no force in this vertical member. So this is how you find out. So any doubts, right? Please ask me if there's any doubts or anything should I explain again. You'll be able to do it now yourself because it's just following simple steps. Yeah. No, I will be taking a class to you. Then you have to show me that time your files. The no need of submission. No submission. I'll ask you on the call during the Google Meet. I'll be asking you questions. Then you have to show me the file. So no need to submit. Out of the two homework problems, I already solved one problem for you guys, 14-8. So you just have to solve the 14-11, and this will be done. So it just if you just practice, you'll be able to get an idea of this. And about the temperature effect and the misfit, you can leave it because LinPro doesn't have the facility for that one. So you can ignore if there is any temperature increase in the problems. Just go on the till settlement, you can do it. If there's settlement, you can add it. But temperature and length extra, then you can skip it. It's not required for us. So this is okay. Anybody else, please? Any doubts? The units are in English already. In the LinPro, it is kilonewton meter. In the LinPro, as you can see here, the units are not in pounds and feet. The units you can see here, kilonewton meter, kilonewton centimeter, newton meter, newton centimeter. They are already in SI units. They are not in pounds and feet, so it's no problem. But sometimes in the textbook, we have some problems. As you can see here, the load is given in kilo pounds per inch. So in that case, you cannot compare the values because the values are completely different. Here you can see the area is in inch square. So that case, you need to convert all the answers of the textbook and accordingly into the SI system. See here, you have four kips, 4 pounds per inch, 2 pounds per inch, 10 feet, 10 feet. So these you cannot compare the value of the stiffness matrix with the Lin Pro because you need to convert each value of this textbook into the SI units and then you can compare. That's why I have chosen the problems which are in SI units from the textbook. So don't worry, your SI in the this one, all the values are in kilonewton meter.